If you can let us know once we are off and running.
Yep, let me check. You are live.
What's happening? Asphalt Life community. This is Stan Bastek. Welcome to our Facebook Live Atlas Pro Talk Tuesday edition. It is early in the week, but it's already been a very exciting week. So if you are watching us already, we appreciate it. You guys are early. We got a 4:30 start, but we love getting started a few minutes early, especially when we have such amazing guests. And we have two awesome guys with us today. This is the Atlas Roofing Shingles Facebook Live, Atlas Pro Talk, and 5 o'clock we'll do our little virtual happy hour as we've done for the last couple weeks. So I'm going to introduce our special guests. Just a couple reminders before I do. If you are watching live and you have questions, comments, just engage with us. Give us a couple of thumbs up, some hearts. You know we love the love. You will have a chance to win an Asphalt Life prize pack. So it's raining in Georgia today, so I needed to change the scenery up. And in particular, I had to change the scenery up for my man, Chuck Allen from Rio Blanco Roofing. Chuck, do you know why I changed the scenery up? This is a little bit of I just had to rub it, man. I had to rub it in a little bit.
Yeah, I figured, I hate to say this, but maybe you were looking for some sympathy today.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I was looking for. So, yeah, I've got way too much invested in all this Michigan crap relative to the number of wins we've had in big games lately. So, anyway, Chuck Allen with Rio Blanco Roofing coming to us from San Antonio. Welcome to Atlas Pro Talk. We're so happy you're joining us, man. How are you?
Yeah, thank you, Stan. I appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this for the last several days. Big fan of you, big fan of Atlas, and big fan of the other guests we've got here today. So I think we're going to have a great time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So let's introduce our other guest. Brad Bellamy is also coming to us from San Antonio. He's got the cow, the longhorn in the background. Brad
That's right.
is our territory sales representative, super dynamic, engaging guy in San Antonio, covered San Antonio and Austin for us. So Brad, welcome to Atlas Pro Talk. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm good, Stan. Chuck, good to see you guys. This is an awesome time just to be here and spend a little time this afternoon with you guys. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. It's been a crazy few weeks. That's a huge understatement. It's a really serious time in our country and in our world, with a lot of, stressful things happening, right? But I think there's also a lot of good. And what we're trying to do on Atlas Pro Talk is talk about some of the good and some of the action to keep us moving forward, keep us positive, hear from guys like Chuck who are killing it out there, who can, teach some things to a lot of you guys as well and continue to learn. So Chuck, let's kind of just jump into it, man. Tell me a little bit about what's been happening with Rio Blanco and your team. You're the general manager there at Rio Blanco, right? And what's life been like, trying to manage through this over the last 30 days?
Well, it's definitely been a little different than what we're used to. Obviously, that could be said for everybody on the planet, but we have been really focusing on just kind of staying ahead of the curve. And the cool thing about our company is we had already kind of set the groundwork for something, obviously nothing like this, but we had kind of started with the digital branding, and we'd started with all that stuff kind of before this all became a pandemic that we needed to actually, put this all into play with. So it's been kind of cool knowing that we're still able to get things done. We're still getting, jobs taken care of. We're out working today. And obviously it has affected a little bit, but I'd say that the impact has been minimalized by the fact that we were pretty well prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. I think preparation's huge, right? And so there's a lot of people that had started moving in that direction of trying to, add new processes, add new ways of marketing, add new ways of lead generating. But I think there's also a lot of people that weren't, right? They weren't prepared for that. And so, but I think the key message is it's not too late. Like there's plenty of opportunities to get yourself pivoted in that right direction. But talk to us a little bit about leadership. So you've been in management and leadership type roles for a long time now. Give me a sense of what your leadership style, if I were to ask people that work with you, work for you, what your leadership style is, you know, what would they say, right? What do you think is some of those sort of key things to success as a successful leader?
I think the most important aspect of the whole thing, and I would hope that every single person in my company would agree, is family oriented, and we're having a lot of fun. The most fun that you can have at a job is being had here at Rio Blanco on a daily basis. I've got an awesome team. We all work well together. We love each other. My guys out in the field are the same thing. We joke around. We have a great time. We really want to keep it loose, and we're all working towards a common goal here. So it's a family environment where we like to joke around and have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, keeping it light's really important, especially at work, you know, when people have a lot of, you know, it is stressful. Like you can't turn the news on or go scroll through your social media feeds without, you know, seeing all the doom and gloom and you know, that's happening out there. So I think that's a really, really good piece of advice, especially as leaders. We've got to keep it light. You know, our vice president of sales and marketing did something on Friday for our sales team. Brad, you got that message. I mean, you know, he put a video out of himself dancing to Michael Jackson, and like it was so out of the element for this guy to do that. And, you know, that's a part of his personality and his personal life. But he brought that in, I think, to just bring a smile. Like, how did that affect you, Brad, when you saw that video on Friday?
Well, my first thought was Kirk's got some moves, you know, I mean, he can move better than I can.
Right.
So I was pretty impressed, but it was really cool to hear from him, and just in that, and seeing him goofing around like that, you know, just really puts it in a more personal relationship, you know, that you can relate to right now, and see him in a personal environment like that, you know, at his home talking, and, you know, just you guys talking together and just hearing what he had to say. So it was comforting, actually.
Yeah.
So
I think comforting's key, right? You got to have an outlet, and you got to have people that know how to have fun, but also, to your point, there is a common goal. We know why we're here. We're here to work, make money, drive towards these, you know, these goals that we've set as a business, but keep it lighthearted and fun. So that's great advice, Chuck, that we can definitely relate to. Tell me a little bit about what your training process looks like, and maybe some things that you've done since you've been at Rio Blanco to sort of get the training process for onboarding and getting people up to speed to be really self-sufficient going, and how that's benefiting you now in a time of a little bit more crisis. What does that look like for training at Rio Blanco?
Our training is second to none. I'll be honest with you. We have an online university that was developed in-house by our ownership.
Okay.
And basically, this is the time where my guys are going to really start to shine. I've got guys who are out of the office, who are staying home with their families, who are homeschooling their kids, and they're able to do the company training at their pace, you know, 3-4 videos a day, testing, doing all that stuff. Like I said, we were kind of ahead of the curve on that. The online university's been around for about 2 years or so now, and that's huge. I've got guys who started with me in January and February who were not able to get a pipeline going. So when we're stuck at home, what's the best thing you can do with your time? It's improve, continue to learn. Obviously, I can't have everybody in the office and teach them one-on-one like I would like to. So our online training platform has been huge. We've got a couple different avenues that we work with there as well, but the one that we've actually developed in-house is second to none in the industry, I think.
So you guys will supplement with some outside stuff, but mostly it's build it for our business, build it for what we know, the way we want our people to be running their processes. And what types of training courses are there? Like, give us a sense of some of the topics that somebody that started in January or February, what have they been doing over the last several weeks? What types of training are they doing that others watching this, other contractors are thinking, yeah, you know, I need to have a process. I need to have a training course on this. I need to build something out, a documentation. What are some of those courses?
It literally covers everything from your initial visit, your phone contact with the client,
Right.
roof inspections, insurance processes, filling out the paperwork. You know, basically everything that you would field test somebody and field train somebody with is there. And the good thing about it is when someone gets out in the field, if they're unsure of themselves, it's on the iPhone, it's on the smartphone. You can literally pull it right up and you can watch a video real quick, which will, you know, kind of put you back where you need to be as far as comfort goes.
Yeah.
I think that resource is just, it's invaluable. I can't even tell you how much it's worth because, you know, every day that's changing. It's constantly evolving, but it literally will take a beginner, and if you go through the process and you follow that training course, it'll make you a star. You know, by the time you're done, you'll know everything that you need to know.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that's the other thing too, that I've heard a lot of this, chatter, is that, when things do pick up again, and they're going to, right? Not that it's fallen off. There's still a lot of people that are very busy, but there's going to be a dip here, and then there's going to be a resurgence. There's going to be a lot of people in the hiring pool that are going to be from outside of this industry, because there's a lot of people have been laid off. A lot of people are going to be looking for industries that maybe are a little bit more recession proof, or industries that maybe have a little bit better prospects or opportunity. And construction and roofing in general, especially in the state of Texas, is going to continue to be a great business to be in. So having a training platform like you guys have at Rio Blanco is incredible, because when you get somebody that comes in that was selling cars, or was in pharmaceuticals, or was whatever they were doing beforehand, they're going to be able to come in and see your process, and it's repeatable that way, right? And I'm assuming that's got to be a big part of the goal, right?
Absolutely. Every single member of my sales staff had no experience in roofing when I hired them, and that's by design. I didn't want to bring in a bunch of guys that had habits from other companies that may not have been what we were, looking to accomplish. So I've literally taken a bunch of guys who had zero experience, put them on the training platforms, worked with them individually as well. But it's amazing how you can progress and how quickly you can learn this stuff. It's roofing. It's not rocket science, but there's a lot of things that are involved, and bringing guys in and kind of giving them our mindset, our culture, and then letting them go out and, shine to the world is really what I'm trying to do here with Rio Blanco.
Absolutely. And you guys are big promoters. You're big visual promoters, right? Like, you guys get out. I see a lot of your folks out taking pictures on the roof, doing your inspections. Obviously, when the product's arriving, I see jobs where, again, the material's showing up in the driveway. You guys are taking pictures. That visual element of your social media is great. I guess I want to ask you both your perspective on this. Right now, because there's so much noise on social media, what have you guys had deliberate conversations about, just sort of like the reminders about what we do and don't do on social media as a business? Has that been a conscious part of the conversation for you, Chuck, and your team?
It absolutely has. And that's another whole section of our university. We've got a multitude of videos there that kind of explain what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. Right. Don't post anything controversial. Don't argue with folks, how to promote your company properly and to convey the message that we want as a whole and how we want to be perceived in the public. So yeah, it's right there. We've got a social media consultant that we work with as well that's built into our corporation. So it's a huge deal. Social media right now is probably the biggest avenue to get out and see as many people as you can that we have. And if you do it wrong, it's going to catch up to you, and it doesn't take long to ruin that reputation.
Absolutely. I'm going to take just a brief minute, Brad, and we'll come to you and your answer on that. But I want to give a shout out to some folks who are hollering at us. We got a lot of comments, so we got a lot of folks watching. Alex Zuniga says, "Hey guys, what's happening?" Renee, Lauren, Ryan, Castillo and Co. Roofing out in Harlingen, Texas. How you guys doing? Steph Miller. So a lot of great stuff. And Brian, and then we had a great comment from Aaron Mitchell here regarding your hiring. Great philosophy. Avoid hiring bad habits with experience, and opens a candidate pool to all great people. I think it's right on the money, right? Like, there's so many people out there talking about recruiting, which is a huge part of trying to scale a business and keep that lead funnel coming in. But it's also just being open to people outside of the industry, and maybe even more open to those people who can come in and just be a sponge to learn without any of those sort of preconceived notions about my way. Here's how I do it, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
that's huge.
one thing I wanted to say about Chuck's team at Rio Blanco is that, I actually did not know that all of your team had zero experience. I knew some of them came from outside the roofing industry, but I didn't know that they all had zero experience. And now granted, I meet them within the first, I'd say 30, 60 days that you've hired them on. And I can't tell that by the time I meet them. So that's a testament to your training for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the best in the industry. I just point them to the website and have them log in, and they take care of it themselves. But hiring the right people is crucial. having that, mindset to want to be a sponge and learn is the most essential thing I look for. You can hire a good attitude and you can teach the skills later.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really, really good point to pause on. Like, attitude is really what we're looking for when we're hiring people. It's the same thing at Atlas. It's no different whether you're representing the manufacturer or if you're out, representing the contracting company. We are looking for good attitude too. And I think sometimes you can get sort of resume, in love with a resume, but you really got to try to figure out what makes somebody tick. Do they want to get up and get out of bed and get better every day? Do they want to get up and get out of bed and go to work every day? And are they passionate about what they do, whatever that is, right? We've got to work, right? Like, that's sort of the thing, but we've also got to find some real joy and love in what we do and seek ways to be better, so finding that attitude is huge. One more comment here from Alex Zaniga. Some people just don't want to work, so no point in trying to train someone who doesn't want to be trained. Learn that the hard way. So these are great tips, guys. And I think that's a good point, Alex. Like, we can't figure that out in an interview or two typically, but we can try. Like, we can really try to figure out, is this somebody that is going to be willing to learn and willing to be a sponge, as Chuck was mentioning there. So Brad, let me pivot back to you on the social media front. You're out on social media. What have been some of the really good things, and maybe some of the like, oh, whoa, don't do that type of things? Don't name any names, but like, over the last few weeks, what have you seen that guys are doing like really well to adapt to the situation? It's like, guys, you really need to rethink your social strategy during this coronavirus.
Well, I definitely see all the guys that have been very active in the social media realm. They've obviously ramped up their social media presence over the past few weeks, which is great. And it's not all roofing, and that's exactly what you want. You want to relate to somebody, not just, hey, we're on another roof. No, it's creating engagement, talking about other stuff. I mean, I saw one this morning. He was giving top 10 things to do while you're stuck at home.
Right.
Learn this, do this. Organize your sock drawer, just things like that. Educate yourself on something you've always wanted to do. I mean, there's all these things that you can do to better yourself right now, and so taking advantage of that. And that's coming from a roofing contractor. So there's a lot of things. I think that those are the positive things that I see, and a lot of them doing different types of, Rio Blanco being one of them. I mean, you have these drawings, for prizes, giveaways, and you guys did some phenomenal stuff for folks in need over the past few weeks already. So, those are things that I see that are positives. I still think, some people will post, we're seeing all the funny stuff on social media, and those are good. And I think we all need a chuckle and a laugh and be a little bit lighthearted about the things, but also we still know the serious of the matter, which is true. But it's all good stuff. I see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to pivot a little bit here, and let's kind of pivot away from sort of the social side, but into something very related, which is digital door knocking. So this term is just getting thrown around lately, right? Like, it's become unbelievably important because we can't actually be knocking on doors right now physically because people don't want to answer that door and be close up with you. But that doesn't mean that people are not interested in having service providers and contractors come out to quote work. So what does digital door knocking mean, Chuck, for the people because there are a lot of people out here who are like, man, it's just like a buzzword, but what does it really mean? And how are you guys implementing digital door knocking?
Well, to me, the way that I interpret digital door knocking is it's a modern way of getting in front of people without actually getting in front of them.
Right.
Getting attention through avenues like Facebook and Google and those things. And, having a much more broad range that you can reach with, a shorter amount of energy expended, a shorter amount of effort. And it's been really, really successful. There's a few people that have really gotten the head start on how to do that, but it's great because you can literally target a neighborhood that has been hit, and you can put specific Facebook videos to that neighborhood.
Right.
You can hit that exact community and say, hey, I'm in your community. We're doing work here in your community. We'd love to help you. Right now, especially, I think I saw something the other day that most people are on Facebook, 4 to 5 hours a day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
it's great. Stay on. We want you on right now. Don't leave.
Absolutely. I want you guys to watch the replay of this when this is over. But yeah, getting in front of those people and targeted directional marketing like that is the wave of the future. It's been something that we've been kind of aware of and have been working on for a while now. So when this hit, I feel like we were as prepared as we could possibly be for it. And so far it's been really successful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we've heard from others as well. It's like, you don't want to dial back your marketing. You just want to pivot them into other arenas and ramp up stuff that, is going to apply to the current situation and what consumers are looking for. Video is obviously a big part of what you guys do at Rio Blanco Roofing as well. I'm going to share the screen real quick and show off a couple of things that, while I get you talking about it a little bit here. But, from a video perspective, you guys obviously are posting videos on the roof. You guys have funny videos, right? About what's happening. You guys do your announcing your winners. You guys do a ton of great giveaways, so you guys keep it really, really fresh. And then I think also, you personally, I see on your personal page, you're always putting stuff out, particularly out on a roof. So here's one I thought was really fun, right? But again, you're putting your face out there. You're showing that you're working. You're showing what you're doing, right? And I think it's just interesting, and I think people respond really well to this. So, is this like deliberate? Is it random? Have you always felt comfortable doing this, or did it take some time? Talk to me about that.
It's definitely taken a lot of time to get comfortable, and I'm not sure that I'm even at that point yet, but
Yep.
It's necessary. You have to be able to go out and look at that Atlas hat on that guy. You have to be able to go out and make yourself known. If you don't, you're just going to fall by the wayside. Nobody's going to pay attention to you. So it's something that had to be done, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with it each time, obviously. But I think it's just one of those things that you go out, you feel goofy. I've kind of got that personality anyway, where I'm not worried about looking foolish or stupid, as most of my friends and family will tell you. And that's part of the deal. You make people smile, you make them laugh, and they can relate more to you. They see, this guy's a human just like I am. We're all going through this stuff together. Let's have fun. And that video where we were doing the giveaway is actually the reason why I switched to the all black shirt, because it is much more friendly to my physique to not be as prominent there. But yeah, it's like we have fun. My guys like to do this. We enjoy it. I try to get out to the job sites and give shout outs to my crew, to my other guys in the team, so that everybody feels a part of it. And, it's kind of infectious.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, and I know one of the guys you like to follow very closely is like the video king, man, Mike Code. He's Mr. Video, and he'll take videos everywhere, and they're personal, they're engaging. He draws you in. He talks about things that are relevant. He'll just walk and talk around a neighborhood. So always love watching him. So it's good to follow people like that. So, to that point, I want to ask both of you guys, when you sort of look around, it could be this industry, or it could just be generally speaking. When you look at other people doing like things that out on social media, or you look at people you admire or leaders, generally speaking, like give me a sense of who some of those people are for you. Big picture, small picture, like who do you guys follow? Who do you admire?
I've got a bunch, really. Here within our company, over in Tyler at our corporate office, we've got Leanne Koppel, who she's been appointed as the queen of social media branding. She's one that I highly recommend everybody follow. Her videos are so entertaining, and that's actually what kind of got me started in this. One day I was watching YouTube, or I was watching some Facebook stuff, and there were some sales guys from their company that were dressed in dinosaur costumes, and they were dancing around in the warehouse. And it was because they were 5 minutes late for the sales meeting. So it kind of helps with that infectious culture when the guys are willing to go out there and kind of be goofy as well and have some fun. You saw Stephen Hughes on that little clip that we just showed a minute ago. He's another guy. That stuff that he does is really cool. He's got a computer talking to him in the background. He's been quarantined for so long that his computer's actually becoming his best friend. Stuff like that is really cool. Obviously, some of the industry leaders. You had Dimitri on here a couple of days ago. He's a good one. I love following him. I followed him for quite a while. I do follow Lee Haight, who, I think he kind of brought the whole digital door knocking terminology out. And Mike Code, like you said, he's my original. I was down doing, just about out of the industry. I was having some bad luck about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and I saw a video of this guy walking his dog, talking about, just basic stuff, a 2 or 3 minute video. And, Mike really brought me back into the whole deal and kind of brought me back to reality, showed me what we needed to do to be successful. And I owe so much of my career to him that I could never even put a value on that. But there's so many people in this industry and worldwide that you follow, and just kind of get a little bit of advice and follow their examples as best you can.
Absolutely. Mike was famous at Atlas, about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. We had a sales meeting, and our VP of sales, Kirk, got a hold of his newsletter. And the title of the newsletter was "Your price is not too high, your value is too low." And that was everything we were really trying to pivot from a culture perspective at that time. And it really, really resonated. And I think it was galvanizing for our sales team to really just get behind something that was just so obvious. And Mike's had an incredibly positive influence on this industry just by talking about stuff like that, right? We spend so much time focused on price, and he's been a great voice in that. And, get paid what you're worth, right? Value yourself, right? And build value in for your customer, and they'll see it. So what about you, Brad? When you look at, people that you follow, books that you read, authors you like, leaders, who are leaders that you follow and have looked up to that have helped you sort of develop your own personal sales style?
Yeah, actually, this is a guy that's local to San Antonio, and he's actually in the real estate world that I've come from in a former life. And his name's Tomas Martinez, and he's a really good guy. And he does a lot of sales and marketing training, leadership training as well here locally. He also runs a magazine. He and his wife own a magazine here in town, Luxury Home Magazine. And just a great guy, has great content. He does a lot of these chats online to where you can help grow yourself, and he does a lot of mentorships. He's just a good guy and has great content. It's not industry related, but it's sales and marketing related, that can apply really to anything we do. So
good. That's awesome. Very cool. So I got a couple more questions for you guys. One is, how would you say you've changed in your career, right? So, Chuck, I want to start with you on this one. When you look back at the companies you worked with, the salesperson, the sales manager you were in a previous life, what are the biggest things you can point back and sort of say, God, I can see those pivots. I can see what I know now that I didn't know then. What are those things that you point to and maybe reflect on?
Oh, it's crazy. I started in this 22 years ago. Over half my life, I've been in the roofing industry, and I literally started off as a ground drop delivery guy who did it off the back of a flatbed by hand. Drove a conveyor truck and roof loaded for 12 years. From there, I got an opportunity to go down to Charlotte, North Carolina, and actually open a roofing supply company. Awesome. Managed that for a couple of years, which was crazy. It was something I never would have anticipated. Taking that opportunity and then moving over to Texas, I worked with a great company over in College Station for 6 years. And that kind of transitioned me over into what we're doing now at Rio Blanco. I've been here for just a little bit over 1 year in San Antonio. And I look back at all those trips and all those memories, and I think, man, every one of those experiences were great. I wouldn't trade any of them. Probably would have not done the delivery job for 12 years because there's days when I can't raise my arms up. But it molded me into it. It gave me an appreciation for every facet of our business. I understand what it's like to be distribution. I understand what it's like to work in the field. I understand what it's like to, be the guy cleaning up from the debris on the ground. And I think that's really helped me to see the whole thing as the big picture is, and understand each person that's involved in a particular company is equally important. Our ground cleanup guy is just as important to this company as I am, because if he doesn't do his job right, then we're going to get fewer opportunities. We're going to get our reputation damaged. So just being able to appreciate what everybody does, and knowing that, it's not always going to be perfect. There could be a day where the distribution company calls and says, hey, our truck has a flat tire, we're running behind. Okay, let's just adapt and overcome. I've experienced that myself. So I don't get too frustrated. I kind of stay even keel when stuff happens, because after all these years and seeing all these different sets of problems, dare I say, I think I've just about seen it all. So It's been huge. I wouldn't trade any of my career for any of it. I'm very thankful to be where I'm at now, and I'm looking forward to many more years to come for sure.
Yeah, and you'll be able to look back in 60 to 90 days and say, now I got a global pandemic under my belt too. So we've navigated through that. I think that's something that's so powerful to think about. Like if you can, really, get diligent right now and take action, take it seriously, hat on, you're going to be able to look back on this with some scars that you're going to be really proud of, right? And I think those are things to just keep in mind. It's going to be an interesting few months, right? And I think, but these are the experiences that sort of define us and help us become who we are, right? And you've pointed to a lot of other things too, right? You've seen the whole supply chain. You've seen how this whole thing works, and that appreciation is huge. I love that comment about everybody's job, everybody's role is important, because you're right. Like, the experiences that our customers have along the whole process are going to dictate their overall feeling. You could go do a bang up job in an in-home sales call, but if something goes wrong on that job site because somebody doesn't have the same attitude or the same respect for the vision of what Rio Blanco wants to do, it screws up the whole thing, right? So everybody's got to be moving in that same direction, which also means as leaders and managers like yourself, we've got to set the expectations, but also show appreciation for everybody that's doing their part to help make it happen. So it's a great comment.
Yeah, I think that's crucial. And, to be honest with you, my main roofing crew comes from Houston. They drive 3.5 hours every Monday morning. They stay here in hotels and work with us throughout the week. So you wouldn't see guys doing that if they didn't feel like they were a part of something bigger than what they actually are doing.
No question.
And every one of the guys on the team had the same vision. We're all going to the top and we're doing it together. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Brad, what about you, man? When you look back, how have you changed, from your days, as a rookie salesperson, doing all sorts of different things. You worked on the new construction, custom home building side for a while. Like, talk to me about your evolution and how you feel about your experience.
I really think it's kind of summed up in one word for me is patience. I had zero patience when I first started, and especially in sales, it was, I got to make a sale now. Things have to happen now. In production, it's got to happen now. And I think I've learned over the years that, hey, it's kind of like having a farm, and as best way it's been described to me. And you're just planting seeds, and you got to keep watering it, and eventually something's going to grow. And then as it grows, it gets bigger and bigger. And that's the way I look at it a lot more now. So a lot more patience, I think.
That's so great. Yeah. Good stuff. We got 2 minutes. I'm going to go walk myself right over there, and I'm going to get myself my little cocktail here. But while I do that, I'm just going to leave you with something really special, Chuck. This is all for you. And you can go ahead and talk about the Buckeyes for just 1 sec. I'm going to give you 1 minute to talk about how excited you are for Buckeye football season, and then I got something for you. So.
Oh, I hope we don't lose viewers here.
We're actually going to gain viewers. So here we go. I'll be right back. You just listen to this.
Hey, he's not getting a lot of.
I was gonna say, ironically, it died as soon as he walked away.
The viewers are going through the roof. The viewers are going through the roof. It's incredible. There we go. There's a little Michigan fight song for you. I'm toasting with Red Bull today. It's Tuesday. I'm gonna need a little pick me up. So it is 4:59, gentlemen. It's almost time for happy hour. Chuck, I really appreciate you being on. A couple shout outs for some other folks who commented here. We had some nice shout outs from Renee, Claudette. We had Ready Roofing asking me why I'm not shaved. Come on, man. I can't shave every day, man. I'm trying to have this little scruff to match these guys. Alex, appreciate your comments. Excellent time with you, Chuck. We appreciate you being here. And with that, it's 5 o'clock, guys. So let's go ahead and cheers. It's our.
You can't even see mine through the.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. There. Texas.
Our Texas beer for Mr. Bellamy.
Yes.
I'm trying to get a pick me up so I can try to go for a run. But
there's the Atlas.
There you go.
Just real quick, I'd like to say something too, if I could.
Yep, absolutely.
You just mentioned something a minute ago, Stan, that really it resonates with me. I remember maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was in Houston at the Atlas Road Show. And there was this guy running around that was full of energy. He was wearing a suit that had $100 bills all over it. And I've never forgot that guy. And I followed you ever since then. you've got an amazing energy, and I just think that, Atlas couldn't have a better guy that could be the face of the company. And I want to say the same to Brad. I mean, Brad's been my rep since day one here in San Antonio. This guy's willing to do anything to help my team. He's come out and, when I'm not even in the office, he's delivered a single sample board multiple times. I've been with Atlas for many years, and I appreciate everything that Atlas has always done. I think you guys are at the absolute top as far as just being first class and doing things the right way, and I appreciate that. I look forward to many more years.
Absolutely, man.
Well, I
We
appreciate that, Chuck.
it.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome there too. And I want to give a quick shout out to Alex Zuniga. Alex, you are you and Aaron Mitchell. Aaron Mitchell and Alex Zuniga, you guys are our two winners for our Asphalt Life prize packs. Chuck, we appreciate the kind words and your willingness to be on with us. And stay safe, keep your people safe. We know you guys are doing that. Be out there and let us know how things are going, right, as this whole situation unfolds, and let's keep that positive, action-oriented energy going out there, because I think that's going to be key to getting through this and coming out the other side stronger than ever. So thank you guys, Asphalt Life community. We'll see you. Live, Roof, Play together. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Very excited Thursday. Little sneak peek. We will be our last one for the week. We're going to skip Good Friday this week so people can spend that time with their families. But we'll have ASAP Roofing on with John Dye from Art of the Supplement. So Art of the Supplement and ASAP Roofing. We're really excited to have them on Thursday. So join us again. We'll see you guys next time. This is Atlas Pro Talk.